It's undeniable. It's unpreventable. You're forcing yourself to train hard when you're constantly implementing progressive overload. It's long rest period time, 5-10 minutes here. And I want to do today's training chat on how to actually train hard. Like, how do you know if you're actually training hard? How do you force yourself to get to that point of really training hard? Because I tell you to train hard all the time. And I set that example of training hard, as often as I can. I'm not going to say all the time, but as often as I can. So how do you actually do it? Well, there's multiple ways. I'm going to talk about one today. It's a foundation. I think it's actually the number one foundation, because if you use this foundational principle, at some point, you're going to get to the point where you are training really hard. There's no way around it. That foundational principle is none other than the big boy, the king, progressive overload. You've heard of it. I know you've heard of it. Progressive overload. In a nutshell, it's just you're trying to do more over time. That's it. Like, it's not this complicated monster definition that you'd have to look up in Webster's dictionary. It's you want to do more over time. It's going to require a journal. You're going to have to journal. You're going to have to record so you know that you're actually doing more over time. You're moving forward. You're progressively overloading. But the point is that no matter where you start, no matter what your baseline strength levels are, no matter how intense you are in the beginning, you might go into the gym and you might not be training that hard. You might not be training that intensely because you're new. You're not expected to. You're feeling it out. You're getting the lay of the land, You're just getting comfortable, learning form and stuff like that, learning the basics. But if you progressively overload and keep that concept in check in your mind while you're doing those things, while you're a beginner, and as you gain experience, keep that in check, keep it in the picture, you're going to add weight over time. And eventually, that weight is going to get hard. You're going to have to be intense to lift that weight. Because it's undeniable. It's unpreventable. You're forcing yourself to train hard when you're constantly implementing progressive overload. The weight gets heavier. It gets harder. You have to push yourself. Your intensity builds. Your experience builds. Your workload builds. All those things add up, and then eventually you're at the top of the intensity ladder. You're in it. You are training hard, and you know it. And you've stepped yourself up, step by step, inch by inch, day by day, to get to that point. And progressive overload, that's the thing that got you there. And that's the thing that is going to get anybody there. It's always going to be there for you. There's some things in life that aren't always going to be there for you. Progressive overload, as corny as it sounds, as stupid as it sounds, one of those like dumb gym sayings where no matter what, the iron will be there for you. The iron will never leave your side. Progressive overload, it will not leave your side. Progressive overload will be there for you when you need it. And it will ensure that you train intensely. Guys, that's a training chat for today. If you want to train hard, one of the things you have to implement, because it's a guarantee, I guarantee it, is progressive overload. Get it in your head. Make sure that you implement it, use it, learn about it, and you will be training hard.